Would you like to know how it would feel to experience yourself as a newborn baby? Seeing the light again for the first time, the warmth, the care, and the path that opens for you to the world. Persona 5 spoiler warning. In this short essay of mine, I'd like to talk about one character that really stand out for me when I first met her in the game, and how she reminded me of myself. To give you some narrative context, Persona 5 involved the plot of one's palace that hold all the desire and deep dark thought for a person, or in some case, the mass collectiveness. In a way, the palace is the meta world that is a representation of one's desire, which often is corrupt. This applies to most of the antagonists you face, and you have to steal a treasure, something that holds dear to them, in order to change their heart. Their shadow, which is the representative of themselves in this meta world, are often power hungry and, well, they are the deep dark version of their real self. So, imagine my surprise when I first stepped into Futaba's palace, thinking her shadow would be hostile to me. She wasn't. Well, most of the time, the palace itself tried to kill you though. Oh, well, hurt you. But her shadow? It was almost like a cry for help. A guide into the deep dark thought of Futaba herself, unveiling the trauma that she has been fed up with, and her mother's accidental death, which a lot of people blame her for causing the accident herself. The only one she knows who understands her, love her, not simply just a mother who gave birth to her, but the guardian that led her towards a path and give her the idea of belonging. For years, she kept herself in her room, not stepping outside, not continuing her education, not because she can, but because she simply couldn't. The guilt was too heavy, as she grew up lonely and nobody truly understand her, which in my opinion, if she was real, I don't think I'll understand her at first either. When you encounter her for the first time, at least in person, her room is that of a typical shut-in, right? That alone is depressing in and of itself. But what was then later shown in the game, of her thinking of her room as her tomb, which is represent her in her palace, she really believes that she will die in that room. That's not simply just fear that you would die. It's a slow acceptance of rotting in your own room, suffocating, drowning, bleeding until the very last moment of your life because of guilt. And that struck me right in the heart. I had a similar experience like Futaba, except that my mother is, still alive. But she's far from healthy, and I think that makes a difference. I dropped out from middle school almost a decade ago. I drift aimlessly, no anchor, no destination. I failed my mother, my father, and myself. So I choose to live in solitude. Slowly but firmly, I inherit the mindset of a shut-in. I don't even talk to my mother for almost a whole year after that. The only thing I'll talk to her is about meal. It was as if my reason was to survive the day, live to breathe another day, and not try. I slowly realized that I would rot and die in the room and not out there. My father rarely come to visit me and my brother, and we simply just couldn't do anything beside small household tasks. We had a laundromat open, the only source of income and coping mechanism, money. But one day, my father had an argument with my mother. She cast him aside in the middle of the night, but he doesn't leave. In the morning, I noticed that she was nowhere to be found. She left us alone with our father, who is, suffice to say, as disheartening as we are. I had a small thought of hugging him and said, Will it be alright? Oh, asked a question. But I never did. I simply looked at him as he left the place. I didn't have the courage to do it. I then started to realize how utterly useless I was at the moment of time. My mother didn't go far, she just leaves to have her own space. And when she come back, everything is back to normal. In hindsight, that was odd. No, simply just becoming normal again. But it's become a pattern, of which I would slowly notice and start piecing it together and see the bigger picture. Not too long after that, my mother still talked with my father, but rarely, if not even meet in person at all, and it led to the point where my father left us and ran away with his pension money, a money that could start a new life, not even a goodbye in the end. From that event, I started to think how worthless I was. If I wasn't born, maybe mom and my little brother would do well without someone that burst into the world and bring shame to the family, someone who doesn't stand up for himself, not man enough to take control of the situation. I relocated multiple times during all of this, all believing that the next room would be my coffin. I simply accepting it as a fact. I don't clean my room, I don't go outside, I stay indoors. Until I met Futaba and see her grow. Her shadow isn't simply a guide, but her own voice and reasoning that just want her to accept that she's not at fault for all that are happening. Her shadow was the treasure of the palace that she called a doom. Ultimately, with the help of the player and other characters, she managed to overcome her own palace, which is different from other. Really, a place that was supposed to be her deathbed. Slowly, she began to make friends, starting with the player and others. She goes outside more, curious as she is. No matter how difficult or strange it may seem, I slowly see that in myself. People believes in me, but the guilt of being birthed that give catalyst to the family, shame, dishonor, and label myself as the useless one. I cast those away. The whole situation is a palace of mine, and the hopes and dreams that I had. Well, that's my shadow guiding me into a new life, a new story. During all this, I did manage to get great education, graduate, began streaming for 3 years, and built a community that support me. My friend also support me wholeheartedly. I once was Futaba Sakura, but now I'll write my own story in this life and see it through to the end. Thank you for watching this little essay of mine. Like and subscribe. As always, as cliche as this sounds, support me on Ko-fi, Patreon, or the upcoming GoFundMe to help me move out and live a better life. I'll be seeing you in the next one, in Charnyte's interpretation. Ciao!